Hey everyone, how you doing this morning? It is a cold and snowy but bright morning in Michigan, and today I want to talk about my January favorites and fails. So I've got some really good products here, some things that really surprised me that I kind of fell in love with, and I've got some so-so stuff, and then I've got a few, unfortunately, pretty big fails, frankly. I figure we'll start off, and I guess we're gonna start off with a fail. I picked up a bunch of products from the new Too Faced Spring Collection. This is their Too Femme collection. I picked up the eyeshadow palette, the Too Femme eyeshadow palette. I picked up the Too Femme blush in Blushing Babe. And then I picked up the Heartcore lipstick from this line as well. It also came with the Better Than Sex mascara in both the normal and the waterproof, just in new packaging with butterflies on it. I like that mascara, but I wasn't in the market for another one, so I didn't have to buy one with butterflies on it. Quick story about this launch. I actually bought this. I saw it on Treadmoon 1 back in like November, and I was totally blown away by the packaging, and I really wanted to try it. So I ordered it the second it came out. And the first thing I was surprised by was, one, it's kind of that cardboard packaging, which not that big of a deal, but I also noticed with the eyeshadow palette that these pans are very small, and I was kind of like, okay, well, let's see how I feel about this. And then finally, the last thing I noticed is there's an alert on the back that says one of these shades, which is called Think Pink, which is this shimmer right here, says don't use on your eyes. I found that really, really weird, frankly. So I was already a little worried. I actually filmed an entire video trying out these products, and something happened with my video. I think my battery went out, and I ended up losing like 3 minutes of the video in the middle, and I didn't recognize it until I went to edit it. And I hated this eyeshadow palette so much. I never wanted to put it on my eyes again, so I literally scrapped the video. I was like, nope, I'm not putting this on my eyes again. I hate it. So I figured I would just talk about it in my favorites and fails. So let's start with this dreaded eyeshadow palette. This formula is so chalky. It is not pigmented at all. This blue right here, I was so hopeful. I thought this was so pretty. There is no pigment to this at all. I'm gonna see if I can swatch it. But there is just, I mean, actually, honestly, a swatch is better that goes on the eye, but it's chalky, it's patchy, it just doesn't do anything. And you try to build it and you try to build it and nothing happens. Now, I recognize it's a pastel shade. It doesn't have to be so crazy pigmented, but it was just a huge disappointment. And that's kind of how I felt about some of these other shades too. Like this pink right next to it. Also, you can see, like, it just didn't do anything. The shimmers are more like toppers. They've got no pigment behind them. And I was just really, really disappointed. And then of course, the fact that there's a shade in here I can't even use, because apparently, I don't know where you're supposed to put it, like on the tip of your nose or something, but you're not supposed to put it on your eyes. And I don't need a highlight with this amount of chalky and glitter chunks to it. Yeah, this was just a huge fail for me. It just didn't work. I was so hopeful too, because this color story I think is so pretty. I think it's so spring, but yeah, the quality was not there. Moving on to the blush. This is in the shade Blushing Babe. You can see it's got this kind of gold overspray on it. That's almost gone now because I've used it a few times. And it's a really nice blush. It is pigmented. It reminds me of Nars Orgasm, but to the 10th degree. And what I mean by that is it's got a gold shimmer. It's a pink blush with a gold shimmer. And the gold shimmer is really intense, where I feel like Nars Orgasm, it's there, but it's not like in your face glitter. This is like gold shimmer, gold shimmer, gold shimmer. As much as it's pigmented, it's actually a beautiful shade of pink. The gold shimmer is a little too much for me. That's a personal preference. I do think this is a good blush. I really do. I'm just not into crazy shimmery blushes, especially with that amount of gold. But I'll kind of swatch it for you so you can see. It's actually very pigmented, very beautiful. I was hoping that the gold shimmer was just from the overspray, but once I got through the overspray, what I realized is nope, it's part of the formula, and it's just very, very gold and shimmery, which again, didn't really work for me. Last, we have this Heartcore lipstick. This is in the shade Sweet Tea. I've noticed like so many brands are launching these basically tinted lip balms. This is beautiful. This has got a really nourishing formula. It's actually what I'm wearing on my lips today. It's got some pigment behind it. Now this is a darker shade. This is a darker mauve. My lips are kind of mauvey, so I tend to reach for those shades. I haven't tried the other shades, so I can't really speak for those. But if you're in the market for a really nice tinted lip balm that provides nourishment to your lips all day long, but gives you a little bit of color, I would highly recommend this. In regards to this launch, I thought the packaging was beautiful. I really liked the lipstick. Like I said, the blush didn't work for me, but that's just a personal preference. It actually is a good quality blush. But gosh, this was such a disappointment. This just made me so sad. And I hate returning makeup, but this is going back. Moving on to the next launch, we're going to talk about Natasha Denona. This was kind of half and half for me. If you watched my Get Ready With Me video on this, you'll know that I really did like this mini Biba palette. I did find it a little bit more finicky. And what I mean by that is I hold Natasha Denona to such a high standard with her eyeshadows because she delivers over and over and over again. So when something is good, not great, I tend to be a little bit more critical, and I don't know if that's fair or not, but you know what? It's a high price point, and I think we should all be critical of our makeup, especially when we're being asked to pay really high prices for it. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is this is a beautiful color story. I love this rosy brown look. I'm actually wearing it on my eyes today. I found that 3 of the shadows, the ones in the middle, are up to Natasha Denona quality. They are so good. These matte light shades are just so blendable. They're so easy to work with. The shimmer lid shade, again, pigmented, beautiful. That's the big difference between this formula and that one from Too Faced. This is so pigmented, so great. Oh, so good. Now these 2 shades on the ends, this shade, which is called Bruno, I have worked with this quite a bit and I've gotten it to work for me, but it took some time and practice. Now it is a cream to powder shade, which is a little different, but I've used her cream to powder shades before. This just took a lot more work. I do have that on my outer corner today, so I did have to work at it. I've gotten to, I've gotten used to it. We've gotten to know each other a little bit, and I really, really have learned to really like it. But again, it's harder. And then this shade, I used it again today to line. It's not great. It's just not. As much as I've used it over and over again, there are just better liner shades out there, and I just think this is a fail. So overall, beautiful palette, beautiful color story. I can make it work for me. I just wish I could just do this and not use that shade anymore. So the fail in this launch was the Natasha Denona Rose Cheek Duo. I said before in my video that this blush shade did not work for me. It looked like I had a sunburn and I was really, really angry. I just didn't like it. I also found it pretty patchy. I just did not like it. This highlight, however, was beautiful. I would highly recommend this highlight, which is hard to recommend a product when you only like 1 out of 2, but it is a beautiful highlight and I do think it's up to Natasha Denona quality, so I'm conflicted in that way, but I'll probably never use this blush again. I'm just gonna reach for this for the highlight. Take that for what you will. Moving on to foundations, I tried 2 new foundations this month, both of which got a lot of hype behind them. The first one was the new Beautiful Skin foundation from Charlotte Tilbury. This packaging reminded me so much of the Estee Lauder Hydra Futurist foundation, which I love. It's one of my favorite dewy foundations. It's one of the few dewy foundations I can wear on my skin because I have more oily combination skin, and sometimes dewy foundations just don't work for me. So I was a little nervous about using this, and what I learned from it was I had reason to be nervous. This is the best foundation that Charlotte has launched, in my opinion. Now I say that because I absolutely hate her other foundations, frankly. I feel like her Airbrush Flawless foundation, I think that's what it's called, is like flat matte. It's thick, it's heavy, it is flat matte. There is no life in your face. And I find that the Light Wonder is way too dewy and glowy for me. So I was hoping this was kind of in the middle. And it is in the middle. But there's 2 things I don't like about this. The first one is it is tricky and finicky to apply. I like to use foundation brushes. That is my preferred way of application. And if you put this on with a foundation brush, it is thick, it'll turn really cakey, it'll seep into fine lines. It's just not a good scene. So I learned very quickly that that's not the way to apply this. I had much better luck when I used my fingers, or I used a damp sponge, or I used my fingers and then blotted with a damp sponge, or just used the sponge. I had much more even, light to medium, very skin-like coverage. It looked beautiful on my skin. I really liked it once I found the right application for it, but it didn't last. I got very shiny within the first 4 to 5 hours of using this foundation. So it just didn't work for me in that way. Now, I can get it to last longer if I use a mattifying primer, if I use a setting spray. So I can make this work for me. I am going to keep it. I can make it work. But the other thing I didn't like about it is I can feel it. The best foundations for me are ones I don't even know I'm wearing. And I have some even full coverage foundations that I don't even know I'm wearing throughout the day. They just feel so beautiful and velvety on the skin that I just don't really notice them. I can feel this. Now, it's not awful. I have had some foundations where I'm like, get this off my face. It feels awful. It doesn't feel awful, but I can feel it. And that's why, as much as I'm gonna keep this, as much as I'm gonna use it, will it crack my top 5? No, it will not. In comparison, the other foundation I tried, I really, really enjoyed. And this is the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. This is a serum-like foundation. It's got a bunch of skincare in it. It is a dewy foundation, so I have to be careful with that. But I find that for a dewy foundation, this has longevity on my skin. I can get this to wear a good 8 to 9 hours. If I want it to wear the best, I have to prep my skin appropriately, which generally most combo oily girls need to do. You know, I have to use a mattifying primer, a setting spray, and I have to set with a powder. But to be fair, I set almost every foundation with a powder, so I don't think that's a good indication of anything. The finish of this, and maybe it's because I'm just lucky enough that the shades in Nars, I have found a shade that works perfectly for my skin. And maybe it's as simple as that, but the shade is perfect. The finish is just this light glow. It's very skin-like. It feels wonderful on the skin. I do not feel this on my skin. And the longevity is quite good for me for a dewy foundation. So am I going to keep using this? Yes, absolutely. I have found that between this and my Air Matte foundation from Nars, I am good to go. Moving on to Rare Beauty, this was kind of an even split as well. First was the bronzing stick. I hated it. I felt it was not very blendable, and as I said in my video, it kind of gives that orangey tint to it. Now, I mistakenly said in my video that this was the lightest shade. There is another shade of this, which is for a neutral skin tone. But I found it very interesting because I picked up this one, which is supposed to be for a fair, cool skin tone. And I don't know why it is orange, because people with more cool tone skin, they're more likely to become orange with bronzer. I found it very interesting. So I guess, you know, I misspoke in my video. I said, oh gosh, you know, why even bother? This is the, you know, the lightest shade they've got. There is another shade that's more for neutral skin tones, and I am neutral. I pull a little cool, but I'm mostly neutral. Maybe I'll try it, maybe I won't, but you know, it was such a disappointment. I'm not sure I'll pick it up. I'll have to think about it. On the other hand, her setting powder, I really, really like. This is more of an illuminating setting powder. It's gonna give you a little bit of glow. So I actually put this on top of that Nars foundation today, and you can see I am very glowy. I'm not sure I will do that all the time. I'll probably save this for when I'm wearing more matte foundations and I wanna provide a little bit of glow after, but it's velvety. It is very finely milled. I can't see it on my face. It doesn't cake up. It doesn't mattify my skin, but that's not what it's meant to do. Yes, it holds my makeup in place. Yes, it makes it last longer, but it's not gonna hold back a huge amount of oil. I also love the packaging. I love that it locks. This is great for travel. So this was a hit for me. Next, I wanted to give you an update on something that I had talked about in my Sephora wish list, and I've been using it nonstop, and I kind of forgot that it was new and I hadn't reported back. And this is not a new product by any means, but it's new to me. It's been on my wish list for a long time and I finally bit the bullet and bought it, and I'm so glad I did. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blush. This is in the shade Ecstasy. This is a beautiful shade. It's this kind of peachy pink with a lighter pink in the center, and the way you're supposed to apply this is you're supposed to swirl it around and kind of pop it in that so you get a good mix of the color. But I've been using this nonstop. It's pigmented, it's light on the skin, it is not patchy, and it's so flattering, and I really fell in love with it. If you're in the market for a good blush, this is a good one. My last two makeup products, the first one is the new Pore Professional from Benefit, the light version. This didn't work for me and it's my own fault. I've said before that I love the original Pore Professional because I love how it fills my pores, it blurs imperfections, and it does help my makeup stay on longer. I also like the pearlized version, which is the pink version, but I don't like the hydrating version. And this is just a light version of the hydrating version. If I had noticed that the girl on it was wearing a wetsuit and I had actually, read the description more carefully, I would have figured that out and I probably wouldn't have bought this in the first place. It's nice, but it just isn't right for my skin type, and that's just purely my problem. And then finally in makeup, I tried the new Lash Clash Volumizing Mascara from YSL. I really fell in love with this. As I said in the video, however, this is not an everyday mascara for me. It is quite dramatic, and so I don't even use mascara every day. It's just one of those steps that I don't always use, and if I do use it, then I will use a more natural looking mascara. This is definitely for me like a date night mascara or something like that. I love it. It didn't flake on me. It didn't smear on me. It had great longevity, but I was able to take it off at night, which is great. But it's not something I'll use every day, but it's still a really good quality mascara. Moving on to hair care, I don't have much to show you. I had picked up the whole Briogeo Farewell Frizz line, and what I learned is the shampoo and conditioner I was trying out for a good month, and I ended up giving it to my daughter. And the reason is because it's very hydrating, but I have very fine, oily hair, and it weighed my hair down really, really bad. Unfortunately, it just wasn't the right formula for me. So the shampoo and conditioner did not work for me, but I love the brand. I love Briogeo, and I've tried a few of their other formulas, and they do work well for me. Now, when I picked up the shampoo and conditioner, I picked it up as a set. So I also picked up the Milk Leave-In Conditioning Spray and the Blow Dry Perfection and Heat Protectant Cream. Now these I love because of the way my hair is, the way that it's fine and oily. I get a lot of frizz when I blow dry my hair, when I style it. I get a lot of frizz on top, and that's a huge problem for me, especially as both honestly in the winter and the summer. And I have had such good luck with this combination. This I just spray in my hair when it's wet, and then I follow with this heat protection cream and then blow dry my hair. And I have had great luck. It has really helped with my frizz, and it hasn't weighed my hair down significantly. So this was a win-win for me. I didn't like the shampoo and conditioner, but I love these products. All right, moving on to skincare. So I have a few things, both good things and unfortunately one fail when it comes to this category. The first thing I wanna start with is this Illuminating Eye Serum from Beekman 1802. So I actually bought this months ago in the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, and I was using a different eye cream, so I wanted to use that up first. But I've been using this for the last 2 months, and I have fallen in love with it. It's got a very serum-y consistency, so it's not a thick cream at all. It melts into the skin very quickly. I can use it under my eye and my lids, which I'm always looking for in a eye cream because I get more textured lids as well. So I want something I can use 360 all the way around. Does not irritate my eyes. It seeps in. I can put makeup on top of it without a problem. This is a really, really nice eye serum. So I'm going to keep using it. There's one other that I'm trying out as well, mostly at night, but I'm going to keep using this because I really, really like it. One of the other products I picked up from the Sephora VIB sale is I picked up this set from Glow Recipe. This is their Fruit Baby set. Now, I picked up this set. There's a few things I had already tried. The Pore Tight Toner, the Watermelon Pore Tight Toner. I actually really like that. I shouldn't like it because it's fragranced, but they got me on that one. I do enjoy it. I use that at night on days where I'm just over using my tretinoin or I'm over using aggressive exfoliant. I want to just do something more gentle, and that's a BHA and PHA toner. So I'll use that. And then the other product I kind of fell in love with was the Watermelon Glow Mask. Now, I have talked about that mask before. It says it's an exfoliating mask. The reality is it's not at the right pH to be able to do that, but it's a really good hydrating mask. Watermelon is a great ingredient for hydration. As much as, again, I shouldn't like it, I do like it, and I use it probably once a week, once every 2 weeks when I just need a break from my more aggressive skincare routine and I just want a gentle exfoliation and then just a really nice hydrating mask for at night, and that is my favorite. The other product that I had already tried as well is the Avocado Eye Serum, which again, I do like. It is in a jar, you have to stick your finger in it. I'm not crazy about that, but it is a good hydrating eye cream. But I actually bought this set because I wanted to try the other two products. And the other two products were the Watermelon Glow Pink Juice Moisturizer and the Blueberry Bounce Gentle Cleanser. I'm always in the market for a good moisturizer and also a good cleanser. I tried this cleanser. It's got a jelly-like consistency. It's very nice on my face. It doesn't dry me out. My only issue with it is the smell. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind fragrance in my cleansers, but this is supposed to smell like blueberry and it doesn't. It smells like this weird chemically, very chemical scent. And if I'm gonna use fragrance in my cleansers, then it better smell good. Because if not, then what am I doing? I'll just use a fragrance-free cleanser. This is not gonna work for me, not because it's not a good cleanser, but I just cannot handle the scent. It's gross. The moisturizer, however, this is a really nice moisturizer. Is it gonna work for me in the winter? No. In fact, when I use this, I have to boost it. I use like a hyaluronic acid booster, or I have to follow with oil or something, because even though I have combination oily skin, I definitely get dry patches in the winter, and I have to winterize my skincare to deal with that. I am gonna keep this though for summer. I think this is gonna be a beautiful nighttime moisturizer for me in the summer. And then finally, the big fail for me was this toner from Indie. This is her Q10 Toner. Q10 or ubiquinone is a great antioxidant. It's a great ingredient to add to your skincare, but not in this form. This is fragranced. And again, I don't get too worked up about that, but the fragrance on this is like lemon glass cleaner. That is the fragrance here. And also, I wore this for a week and I got angry red patches all on my cheeks. And so there's something in here that my skin's reacting to. I'm assuming it's the fragrance, but it just didn't work for me. If you're looking to add coenzyme Q10 to your skincare, I would recommend using the one from the Inkey list. They have a coenzyme Q10 serum, which is beautiful. It is much better than this. And I was really bummed because I love the Indie brightening cleanser. It's one of my favorite cleansers, but this was a no-go. Finally, in my favorites and fails, I want to talk about two perfumes that I picked up over the holiday. The first one I did talk about in my Sephora VIB wish list. This is from Maison Margiela Replica. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, by the way. It probably isn't. This is their Coffee Break Eau de Parfum. I fell in love with this. This is such a great winter perfume. I love the packaging. I love the cloth label. It looks like it's in an old pharmacy. This is a coffee perfume, but a lot of perfumes have coffee notes that are really strong, just really strong espresso coffee. This is like being in a coffee shop sipping a latte. You can smell the milk froth, you can smell the coffee, but you can also smell like a mint, like maybe there's mint in the window growing, something like that. This is such a great experience versus being hit in the head with coffee. I love this perfume. This is so great for fall, winter. If you're looking for a cozy scent that's not overwhelming, I would highly recommend this one. The other perfume that I picked up was kind of an impulse buy. I had been looking at this perfume, trying it out, and I was actually surprised I liked it. And this is from Coach. This is their Floral Blush. I picked up a little travel size. I'll show you the full size bottle on the screen. This is such a friendly, playful scent. It is a fruity floral. It is goji berry, peony, and white woods. And what I think I like about that is the goji berry gives it some depth. Those berry scents tend to give perfumes a little bit more depth. They're just not fruity, like light and fruity. And then the peony is a very watery floral, so it's not overwhelming, it's not super florally. And then the white woods kind of keep it light versus using like a patchouli or a musk. So this is a beautiful light fragrance. This is such a great winter fragrance because the berries can push through the winter, they can push through the cold weather, but it's not overpowering. And sometimes I want that. You know, I tend to reach for more stronger perfumes in the winter just so they can survive in the harsh weather. But sometimes I just want something young and playful and easy. And this is a great example of that. So as much as this perfume surprised me, I was thinking it was just gonna be too like bubblegummy, too, you know, sweet, too fruity. It really surprised me, and I highly recommend it if you're in the market for a nice, you know, like I said, light, fruity floral, but that can stand up to the winter climate. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this January favorites and fails. I really enjoyed filming it. I found such good products. And then of course I was shocked by some of the fails that I experienced. But you know, that's kind of the world of makeup and beauty and skincare. That's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles. I've got some great videos coming up. I've got my drugstore edition of 5 products from 5 brands that I'm really excited to show you. And I've got some new launches, some get readies with me of some new launches for some new makeup coming up as well. So I'm really excited. I hope you stay tuned. I hope you give me a comment or like this video, and I hope you subscribe to my channel so you can become part of our little family on YouTube. Thanks, you guys. Bye.